Okay, welcome to the Battle of Kulikovo. I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to skip the introductory scene, we don't need that. Right, first things first, Prince Dmitri goes to the villages and comes down here to the Allied armies. The scouts go and find a camp over here, and they can also scout around a little bit. They find some wolves and various other things.
The villagers pledged all the soldiers they could spare.
And it's worth picking up the boxes of gold, obviously, which are there, and also to the left. You get some warrior monks here, if you can see. They're the ones with these staffs that have... Do they have the Orthodox cross on, or they have something or other on? No, they're just kind of slightly embellished staffs. No, you just move your troops up there. You don't need the troops themselves to come down and collect the other Allied Rus armies. You just need Dmitri himself. So he'll come here and he'll go to that point and then collect the allies, and then he can also go and get this gold down here.
The battle orders to his allies. They would take up position on the Smolka river fords and ready themselves for the enemy's arrival.
Now,
with a loyal
the previous...
Dmitri began the march north.
Just wait for the narration to stop. The previous games were actually pretty, I would suggest, pretty easy on hard mode. At least they weren't actually particularly hard. Now this game is slightly different because you don't have the luxury of your own villagers. Oh, and they haven't gone and got the village yet for some reason. So you just need to take someone over here. There's a blacksmith over here that's quite useful, and actually quite useful to get before you position yourself and before the allies come along. So do try and do this sooner rather than later, because you can now do decarbonisation and insulated helm, which is useful, and obviously pick up some more soldiers, which is always good. Now the first significant wave of adversarial Mongol horde forces is from the middle. So that's the first wave. Yeah, it's centre forward of the Smolka River. First wave is very much in the middle. Move your scout out of the way. Get your knights if you want to obviously do that, maybe to give you command controls or whatever else. You would like to do that. So that, as I say, first attack that comes from the middle forward.
With his own detachment of fighters, moving to support any ford crossing that seemed at risk of being overwhelmed.
So, coming down here, firstly, and then it goes and there's a smaller force that comes down
Dmitri and his men
on the right and the left, but they're smaller. So I'm going to focus on this central push, just like this. Absolutely try and deal with this as soon as possible, basically, and then you can go and solve these slightly lesser clashes. You can also, even during the fight, heal, so you're going to lose slightly less people if you do that, obviously. Right, wave 2 is on the right, so reposition to the right hand side, I would suggest.
The Rus were emboldened by this first small victory.
You can leave some units
ready for the enemy's next attack.
on the other two sides, and it's also worth leaving some warrior monks to do the healing. These warrior monks are quite useful for healing
Civilians from the province,
the
although
allied
unable to
armies.
fight, vowed to construct defences for Dmitri should he need to fall back on the northern fords.
So wave 2 on the right, as I say, just to remind you. And that wave 2, not too bad, but you do need to take it seriously.
Which Dmitri could choose to fall back to if he lost the fords.
And then smaller attacks across the line, essentially. Let's try and not have these warrior monks die. Oh, come on. Try and heal each other. There we go. Do the same again, so yeah, here we go. The warrior monks are obviously important to heal these forces. And then the third attack, is on the left. So I try and get there as quickly as possible, leaving some units here, but not too many, maybe that many. Wave 3 is already coming, but we really need to get over there as quickly as possible, meaning that I take all the knights over, and then Dmitri himself as well. Because you will lose that unless you reinforce it. So do reinforce it. Try not to lose too many. Use Dmitri's ability as well, obviously. Just going to help a little bit. And just take on that adversary. Right, that's already done. This is en route to being done, hopefully, in the not too distant future. Good, and that's the fords done. And you can now retreat.
Dmitri and his Rus allies held the fords and eliminated the Mongol vanguard. While the enemy regrouped after the initial skirmish, the prince ordered the Rus to fall back to the hilltop defences behind them.
And obviously this means you can more easily heal your units because they're closer together, and you get some reinforcements.
Nearby Rus provinces mustered additional forces to Dmitri's side.
Now, importantly here, you can, and I think it's probably sensible to ignore the fact you're going to lose a kind of, it's going to come up with you failed to do blah 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 blah. It's going to cut. The idea being you can actually just retreat out of harm's way on the 6th or 7th push when they start to use mangonels, basically. Because if you don't retreat on that, you do lose significant numbers, and it's just annoying to actually get it done at that point. So I think that's what I'd suggest doing. My left-hand side's not particularly well reinforced, I admit. There we go. What I'll do is I'll turn to that side now. Right now. Deal with that. Come on. So wave 4 is fine, pretty standard. Cavalry detachment now starts to form up.
Dmitri had called upon a cavalry detachment to stage an ambush. He received word that his reinforcements had begun to arrive and bided his time for the right moment to call them to battle.
Ugh, there's some... Just doing it a bit too analogy here, aren't I? But this push is normally okay. Not too bad, anyway. Still got a fair few allies to help. It's the ones after this, really, that you start to get whittled down a little bit if you're not careful.
The two great armies clashed in the fog, but Dmitri's men stood firm. With the terror of the horde on their doorstep, Rus villagers once again rushed to construct more defences, this time on the banks of the Don River.
So next wave coming, and this is it this one or is it the next one? I think it's the next one that I would suggest to just start to be a bit callous about defending your allies shortly. So there's this one where you've kind of the next wave where you're gonna lose a minor objective, but you're also not gonna lose a significant amount of your forces, and it's impossible to kind of do it any other way, essentially. So I do think it's worth doing. So do the initial defense as normal. But then basically fall back. Be very ready to just fall back, essentially. You see, it's starting to get fairly serious in terms of their capacity to push, and so now I'm falling back on that side, just destroying this mangonel, and now falling back here, and falling back across the line. And see what that does is that they only follow you for a bit, so obviously if they just continue falling back would be absolutely pointless, but they don't. They kind of eventually just start to withdraw, and so you can then give yourself a bit of time, recoup, and then also get that mangonel. Yes, you're gonna objective fail,
the
whatever.
Mongol onslaught devastated
are.
the Rus on the hilltop, forcing Dmitri to call for a retreat.
You can just go and destroy the mangonels at leisure in this way.
the Rus fell back, a fresh detachment of reinforcements joined the fight.
And you also got these reinforcements. Just come down a second.
Was in position and waited for Dimitri's signal to strike.
You also get the secondary cavalry to come in now, which is nice.
Dimitri saw his opportunity and called in the full force of his cavalry.
Oh, I'm going to try and get these scouts to deal with this.
Unsuspecting enemy.
No, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, it does work, kind of. Oh, they did one more shot, but there we are. A quick heal everyone. And there we are, a new force emerges in the dust. There we go, good. So you face the right way, can you, please? Useful. Scouts can just chill somewhere. There we go, and they heal themselves as well, which is nice. Warrior monks can maybe go around and do some healing as this is as we're waiting. Anyone that needs it. Probably makes sense to just keep them there. Right, here we go. Next push. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Yeah, that's fine. Try not to lose the warrior monks because they are quite useful. There we are. Right, warrior monks. Let's get them. Let's call them back a little. Oops. Called the whole lot back. Didn't mean to do that. Not well. That is fine.
With their backs to the River Don, the Rus held their ground in a last stand against their ferocious enemy.
Oh, there's a scout over there. There's a scout over here as well for some reason. Oh, put my warrior monks in danger now. And that scout. So you see, it's a lot easier if you're willing to retreat when necessary and take that, you know, slight hit to your self-perception in relation to that slight failure. It's just so much easier.
In the last gasps of the desperate battle, the Rus would not back down. It would be victory or death.
Ooh. Still got these warrior monks, which is good. try not to let them be overrun. Right, this is, I think, the final Mongol wave, yep. So this is the one where they actually do have mangonels, they have all the rest of it, so you need to be a bit serious about it. I'm going to go around the back here. My computer's playing up, which is somewhat annoying. Sorry about that, my computer's decided it hasn't got any internet now for some reason. I've asked you to see this, which is incredibly frustrating. Come on. And do a little heal to Dimitri. Now I can start to see things a little bit better for some reason. Wipe up the last remnants of the Mongol horde. Good stuff. Repel the Mongol horde.
For the first time in over 100 years of subjugation, the armies of the Rus defeated the Mongols in battle. For 3 days and nights, Prince Dimitri buried the fallen in the fields of Kulikovo. He became known as Donskoy, the victor at the River Don.
Excellent stuff.